Hi guys, I'm Melina, and for 23 years, I literally can't believe I'm saying that, I've been helping women get unstuck and feel healthy, fit, and confident in their own skin. This is the Melina Method podcast, where nutrition meets mindset, fitness gets unraveled to be your superpower, and we really dive in to see the real you for who you are. Hi guys, I'm back again with another episode. And this episode today is kind of close to my heart, and it's something that I haven't been talking about in detail a lot on my social media. And so I really wanted to dive into this on my podcast because the last year has been really hard. I would say the last almost 2 years have been really hard on me. And for those of you who are new to learning who I am and meeting me, and you've been listening to these shows and these episodes, you've kind of gotten to know a little bit about my background, what I do. But the postpartum topic is so big that I wanted to dedicate some time here today to talk about what I've been doing for myself. I'm coming up on a year postpartum, and the pregnancy journey and the postpartum journey has been a lot on me. And I did talk about this a little bit in my getting unstuck episode, because it was a phase of me being stuck that I couldn't change, right? But what I could do is I could get up every day, work out, make sure I was eating the right things, nourishing my body, moving, blood flow, all the things that I know as a fitness person, let's call it, right, to stay healthy and fit and make sure I'm doing the right things to take care of myself and my baby, not just take care of myself, but also take care of myself and my baby. So it's important that you guys know that while I was super down on myself, and I definitely fell into a depression, and then I had the postpartum depression, like naturally, just like feeling so outside of my body that I think so many women feel. As a fitness person, I feel like it hit me like times 20, because, I wasn't this cute, fit, pregnant person that I thought I was going to be. Being in the health and fitness space my whole life, then being pregnant with my daughter, I still gained 50 pounds. And I wasn't like this. I thought I was going to be this like buff, ripped fitness person with a cute belly. I gained weight in my thighs and swelling and water retention, and everybody's so different. Again, you can't compare yourself to anybody, but I was, right? I was seeing other pregnant people who are not fitness people who like barely gained any weight. Oh, they gained 17 pounds or they gained whatever. And I've heard the myth, or the saying that you always gain more with your second. But I was like, well, that's not going to be me. I was in a pretty good base. I had lost all my weight for my daughter. And again, my kids are 2.5 years apart. But so pregnancy, my daughter wasn't even 2 when I got pregnant again, right? So she's like a year and, 17 or 18 months. I was like, okay, like I was lifting. I was like, thought maybe I was going to do like a little comeback show just to like, I'm 40 now. At the time I was 40, and I was like, I'm just going to really get my body back after like getting that weight off. And then I found out like unexpectedly I was pregnant. I was like, well, I'm in a really good base place. I'm lifting, I'm taking all the right supplements. I was like, doing all the right things. So I'm like, I'm not going to gain as much weight with my daughter. And it was like every time I went to the doctor, you guys, it was like 10 pounds. And I'm like, what the heck? Like I'm working out, I'm eating well. Like once I found out I was pregnant, I definitely upped my calories a little bit because I was on a specific meal plan for competing. But I was like not eating junk. I was nourishing my body. I was drinking a lot of water, and it's like the weight just kept coming on and on and on. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'll never forget, I was a little down that I was pregnant again. I wasn't like, I love my kids, and I was happy to be pregnant to bring life, but I wasn't like ready for it. So it kind of like shook me up. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this. I did want another kid, but I wasn't in that right mindset. And I'm just being honest and vulnerable. Like I wasn't ready for it. And so I think that also set the tone of how I felt pregnant. But then I just started gaining more and more and more weight, and I felt out of control. But I still was controlling what I could control, but I felt out of control because I didn't recognize this person that I was like seeing in the mirror. And I had different symptoms in my first pregnancy, which I'm sure a lot of moms that are listening have experienced that as well. And I wasn't happy with myself. It was like this cycle, because then I was like getting mad at myself for being mad at myself. And I was like, okay, Melina, like stop being so negative. But I'm a very open and honest person. And I was like, vulnerably talking to like these new friends that I had of mine. I just kind of felt like I was getting settled in Vegas and, finding some friends and finding some circles. And I'm like, they don't really know me. And I'm like complaining all the time. And I remember my husband was like, don't complain. These people don't even know that you're not a complainer. And I'm like, I know, but I just was not happy, you guys. I was not happy in my own skin. I didn't feel good. I was gaining so much weight. I just felt huge and ginormous and out of control. I literally can't even explain it. And then my last trimester was worse than first of all, my first trimester, I didn't even know I was pregnant until I was like 10 weeks. So there went that. And then my last trimester was like nauseous, throwing up, acid reflux, like everything that you feel in your first trimester that they say. I was like a disaster in my last trimester. I felt so out of control, and I would just do little things to make myself feel better. Take a shower, put magnesium cream on my feet, soak my feet, drink a lot of water, drink the tea, take magnesium, taking my supplements, taking methylfolate, taking the things that I knew were going to be good to nourish my body and nourish my baby. And there would be days where I didn't really have the right appetite, and I would just like making sure I'm getting protein, making sure I'm getting collagen, making sure I'm getting colostrum, making sure I was on top of it, you guys. So even though the weight was coming in, I was on top of it. So that was the gist of my pregnancy. I swear the second I gave birth, I felt like I was back to normal. Like not emotionally, but like I felt like that all that bleh, like went away. The nausea, the acid reflux. And so I knew right away I was going to hit the ground running. So second I got cleared from my doctor, I decided to have my tubes tied. So I by the way, when I was pregnant, I told them to stop telling me my weight. And that was amazing for me because I did not want to know what I weighed. I'm literally like, don't tell me my weight. I don't want to know what I weigh. I need to stay positive. And that was just something that was bringing me down. So I think I was at like the 6th or 7th month mark, and I just like stopped telling me my weight because my weight was passing my first pregnancy. So at the 6th week, I was like 5 weeks postpartum, I went and got my surgery for the tubular ligation, tubes tied. And I was like feeling like I had kind of lost a lot of like a good amount of fluff and water weight. And I was like, oh, I want to know what I weigh. So I remember I looked when they weighed me in for my surgery, and I literally was like, you guys, and if you're not watching the episode and you're listening to it, my mouth was just like, I'm a facial expression person. I was literally like, what the heck? Like, what did I weigh pregnant, right? But I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's just like, I'm on my journey, because the second I'm cleared from this surgery, I'm hitting the ground running. So the surgery was like right, like the day or two before Christmas Eve. So yeah. And so after the New Year's, I got my checkup. And so now I'm like 6-7 weeks postpartum, and my doctor's like, you're good to go. So I start hitting the gym hard. I'm grateful because I had my mom that had come back in town, and it allowed me to have some flexibility to really take that time for myself for an hour or two a day and like really start setting up my routine. I put myself on a flexible diet. I was not hardcore counting calories. I was not hardcore counting macros. I just was making sure I was hitting a certain number of grams of protein. And I went to go get my blood work done to assess my hormones by month 3. So those first 6 weeks was getting moving. It was super uncomfortable. I was super not confident. I felt so big. I was wearing whatever workout clothes would kind of fit me, because at this point I am now like 65 pounds overweight, like from my base weight, right? Crazy. So I just started, and I knew, I'm like, at the 3-month mark, I'm going to get my blood work done, and I'm going to do a whole episode about cellular health and internal health. And I wanted to make sure I knew what was going on internally. And now you guys, with the tools that we have, it is so important. Get your blood work done, work with a hormone clinic, work with a specialist, connect with me. I can give you recommendations. I'm not going to get into all that. I am not a doctor, but I will tell you what I've done and what you need to do to get that help for yourself. Okay. There's people that I could refer you to. I got my blood work. So I started with my workout routine. I started with, focusing on my protein and continuing my basic supplements, which I never stopped, right? I'm getting in vitamin C at night, magnesium at night. I'm taking a good pre-probiotic for my gut health, hydrating with lemon water, basic things for me, electrolytes all day, every day, getting in green supplement to help. And then I started taking some glutathione, which was huge because I got sick. Right after I started at the gym, I did get sick really hard. There was, stuff going around and I got sick and I'm like, I just want immunity. And when you get rid of your placenta, your body gets depleted of so many nutrients. You got to rebuild back up that immune system and you start losing your hair. Like all that's, you're getting like depleted of all these nutrients that you're used to having in your body from having a baby in you. So like double the nutrients, right? So I get my blood work done. I see where I'm deficient in certain things. So I start taking things based on my deficiency. My testosterone was low. I got on testosterone. NAD is amazing. BPC 157 peptide, amazing. I started taking things for my blood work. Okay. Some vitamin D. In the past, I'd had some borderline Hashimoto's issues, and I took a supplement, not a medication, called Thyromune. I started taking that to make sure because I was overweight, very overweight, 65 pounds overweight. So with the baby, I gained over 85 pounds. So I started on my journey. I started documenting my journey. I have some clips. I have some things that I've been sharing on social media, but I really started dialing in with what my blood work was saying, my blood type. Okay. I'm A positive. A positive blood type does better on fish, some ground turkey or chicken here and there, but fish and vegetable proteins. Vegan protein powders are my friends. Dairy is not my friend. Okay. Certain fruits are better for me than others. I started eliminating and getting rid of and making sure I was eating based on my blood type. The other thing I did was a parasite cleanse. Okay. I wanted to really clean out my system. I started taking herbs, certain herbs and oils and supplements and walnut oil and oregano oil and black seed oil. And I started taking things to really detox my system, like really, really detox my system. Lemon water every single morning, like chamomile teas and cleansing teas every single night. Like I can't even tell you. And I did this for like 3-4 months, like really just cleaning me out. And my weight loss was slow at first. Okay. It was. It wasn't super fast. I would say once I lost like another 30 pounds, I was at actually I can pull it up. I have everything documented. And this is what this episode is for. So I would say by February, by March, I had lost 20 pounds from the surgery. So it took me 3 months to lose those 20 pounds. And then I got, I felt a lot better getting that other 20 pounds off. And then from March, I'm 4 months postpartum. So at 4 months postpartum, I was down 23 pounds from 4 months postpartum from my surgery. Add the baby in, I was 40. If you add the baby and the baby when the baby was there and all the fluids and all of that weight, I lost 43 pounds. Okay. So 43 pounds by month 4. All right. And then I kept going, I felt like I could tell like I was making some progress, but I still kind of felt like it was slow. And then it starts getting warmer and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I lost another 10 pounds from 4 months to 6 months postpartum. So 6 months postpartum and I'm like, okay, I'm down 30 pounds, 33 pounds. I'm feeling good. I still got another like 30, 40 pounds to go. So I'm like halfway. And I'm like, I'm making some good progress. It's consistent, but I'm attacking it, you guys. I'm in the gym. I started switching up my workouts. I did start, aside from flexible dieting, I did start becoming, again, more aware after the parasite cleanse of the certain foods that I was putting in my system. Continued with that. At the 6-month mark, you guys, I wanted to see some bigger changes. So I did a 72-hour metabolic detox. And let me tell you what a 72-hour metabolic detox can do. You can click the link in my show notes. I offer this. I have a program that I created around fasting, my theories on fasting, my methods on fasting off years of experience. And I put together the 72-hour metabolic detox because it resets your body cellularly and metabolically. And that's what I was ready to do at the 6-month mark, because I wanted to completely switch up my routine with my diet, really start getting it even more dialed in, okay, to get some bigger, it's like warm weather. I'm like, I need to lose more weight faster if I can. Like, I'm going to do everything I can to try. So I did a 72-hour metabolic detox and I felt amazing. Okay, I felt amazing. I put myself on, a little bit stricter diet, a little bit, but I'm still flexible dieting. I haven't been hardcore calorie counting or macro counting, but then I got on another peptide called BPC 157, and I did mix it with a little bit of a GLP-1. I've taken courses on GLP-1s. I want to do a whole episode on GLP-1s, but I did mix it with a little bit of a GLP-1 based off of the hormone clinic that I work with's recommendations based on my blood work. This is huge. Okay. So mixing that, taking NAD injections also, and my testosterone, as well as my full supplement stack. First thing in the morning, I'm going to walk you through it. 6 months postpartum. This is what I started up until now. Lemon water. I take a pre and probiotic called D-Bloat. I'm obsessed with it. Okay. This is not sponsored. I usually first thing in the morning have my creatine with either a protein shake, or if I'm eating a meal, I still will put a scoop of collagen or some kind of protein and creatine in a drink and drink it with my breakfast. My breakfast usually consists of egg whites with some fruit, some berries. Sometimes I have a piece of sourdough toast if I'm gonna go hit a workout right away. Most of the times I don't. I just have the fruit and the protein, but most days it's just a shake. Okay. If I'm at the gym working, I grab a green smoothie. Okay. My second meal is going to have a protein, carb, and fat all mixed in. Usually it's post-workout meal, which is really important. I'm getting in my 30 grams of protein and I'm getting some carbs in there. All right. My next meal, sometimes I have a smoothie. Sometimes I have just a light protein snack. And then I do a balanced dinner of protein, carbs, and fats. This is what is working for me. I'm eating on my blood type. I'm eating the best foods based around my blood type, and I'm taking the right supplementation based on my blood work. Okay, so month 6, I only lost from May until the end of August. May, June, July, August, 4 months, I only lost 11 pounds. When I mean to tell you that I felt stuck, I felt stuck. And I'm microdosing the GLP-1 that I'm on. Okay, like a micro dose. And I'm like, I don't know why people talk about they go on all these things and they lose all this weight. There's Ozempic, there's tirzepatide, there's retatrutide, there's so many. And I am not the expert to talk to you about it. I just know what I've researched, studied, doctors, hormone clinics that I work with, professionals that I work with. And let me tell you, I want to do an episode all about this, but I was on a small micro dose, and I still was eating all my food, taking all my supplements, and I only lost 11 pounds in a 4-month period. 4-month period. So if you do things correctly, supplements, nutrition, sleep, another thing I make sure, you guys, when my kids go to bed, I go to bed. I get rest. I do the best I can to get my sleep. Okay? It's so important. I wake up every morning, I drink my water first thing. I dry brush. My husband laughs at me. He's like, you are so committed. Even if I'm stressed out and the kids are up or I'm already going in at it, I will grab my dry brush and I will dry brush. I will take a cold shower or something really quick. I will get my fresh air. Those habits are so important. You have to habit stack. So this is what I've been doing. I was really frustrated because I felt so stuck over the summer, but I kept showing up. Okay. So this is what I'm doing. So then from August End of August. So September, all of September to October, I lost another 15 pounds. Okay. Things are starting to drop. Things are starting to work. And I'm coming up on my year. Okay. I'm coming up on my year, and I'm the last 2 weeks or 10 days, I'm doing like a little mini cut. Okay. Real mini cut. I'm eating very limited specific foods, like same food every day, drinking a ton of water. Okay. And because I'm really trying to hit my goal weight by my 1 year, which is like next week. So that is where I am at. And I this episode needs a part 2 for sure on like where I'm at after my year postpartum journey. But I wanted to really give you guys an insight of this episode of what I went through pregnant, what I did postpartum, step by step, detail by detail. I took photos, I took videos, I have documentation of me working out. I mean, it was uncomfortable. It was hard. I was crying certain days. Some days I felt so stuck, but I showed up. And I know that that's hard, but that's why I want to coach people through that. Okay. I lift weights. I'm keeping my muscle. So, yes, a year goes by and I'm losing the weight, but my goal was to keep my physique. My goal was to keep my internal health. I didn't want fast weight loss. I didn't want a quick fix. I wanted the healthy way. I wanted to do things based on my blood work. And I'm getting my blood work done again next week. And I'm really excited to see where I'm at. And I will keep you guys posted on the next steps and what I'm doing for the next couple months here on my postpartum journey after I'm a year postpartum. Okay. So thanks for listening in. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out for me. Connect with me on my social media platforms. Follow the show. Check out my 72-hour metabolic detox fast. I'm going to, again, do a whole episode on fasting, but connect with me and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in to the Melina Method podcast. I hope you're fired up to make a shift in your life. That's the whole point. So if this episode spoke to you, subscribe to my weekly insider. It's melinafitness.com/subscribe. It's all the fun things that you want to get to know me and know what's coming up and what's the latest tea on the Melina Method. So I will see you guys next time.